So, here we are in episode 3 of our ranking 100 politicians from DC's history. As you can see, we've gotten through a fair few already. Let's see, we've gone through 31 of our 100 politicians. So, we're making good time, I think, Krix.
Yeah.
God. So we'll see what happens. As per last episode, I think we'll go through the rankings that we're going to be using for our system, just so we have everyone up to date with how we are ranking these politicians.
Put this on the screen as well, like the top bit for people to see on the screen. Like
I'm going to edit it in. So, when we're talking about political acumen, I'll put political acumen up in blue, right, and whatever. So, seeing as I did the last two explanations, do you want to go through and explain the criteria, Krix, this time?
Yeah. So, first one's political acumen. So that's basically your understanding of the political landscape and the political framework. So, lay of the land's just understanding like the current lay of the land. I think that's just layman's terms. Political theories, understanding the procedurals, how things are done, the legal elements to politics and the political system.
Yeah.
Political ability, that's just your ability to do things in office and to enact things.
There's criteria to political ability.
Yeah. So governing's the first half of that. That's kind of the office holder side of that. So that's like your secretary, how effective you are in that sort of role, or your congressional leader sort of position, how good at you are, that sort of stuff, and getting bills done and written well, that sort of thing, side of things. Organizations, running political parties, campaigns, getting them organized well and having them be successful. Political electability is number 3. That's broken into 3, which is PR, base support, and outreach.
Yeah.
Number 4 then is political networking, which is just the different elements of political networking. So building your network, using it, and maintaining it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final category is political maneuverability, which has 2 sections, these are kind of more like specialty sections. So the first one is crisis handling, so being able to react to a crisis, and then the other side of that is being able to create a crisis if you need to do that. And then the final one is debating, so that could be in chat, going at someone, or it could be in a formal debate.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're the categories.
Cool. So, we ended last episode by saying that we would start with End. So, shall we get going?
Yep.
End, the owner, founder,
Chief Executive Officer.
Chief Executive Officer of DemocracyCraft, yeah. End, famous of God Save Our End fame. End. Interesting figure.
Yep.
Not a real president, first of all. Let's just establish that right off the bat. I think we can all agree here, Not a real president. He didn't get elected to the role, and the Constitution does specifically state an elected president. So he doesn't have a trifecta, so that we will be marking him down for that.
Well, that's probably an argument for you to make that you had a more legitimate run, but there you
go. Yeah. Cool. So, and as a politician, quite controversial, I think.
Yeah, so End, I think, definitely controversial. I think End is a good politician, though.
No doubt. No, I don't. Yeah.
I've worked against End mainly,
and
he's been easy at times, difficult at other times. He's a mixed bag, I think.
He's been a consistent challenge for our side of the politics.
Yeah.
And by
he definitely puts up a fight.
And by our side, I do mean the dark side.
Yeah. So he's for For any of you goodies out there, ends on your side.
Yeah, well, so he says.
Yeah.
So
Don't
corrupt.
read the fine print. Lay of the land and Krix, I think, is about right, above average.
Yeah, he knows where things lie, but I think he can be a bit blind to the minutia again. I think yeah.
Political theory ends very strong in this.
Yeah, no, he knows his stuff.
Procedure.
He knows his stuff. He can
I
trick
like law
people
plays a big part into this as well.
Yeah,
Like End's been on the courts multiple times. He knows this stuff.
I think the only thing with End on his political theory is that he will see someone else do something and he'll try and replicate it. Like the amount of times we've pulled a dirty trick and then he's tried to do the same thing, only like, the off-brand, version of it, right? The Wish. He's like,
or it'll be like fixing a hole in the wall we've created, and then there's another one there right next to it.
Right.
Or he creates a new hole in the wall.
Yeah, brand new hole in the wall where, that we then exploit a couple of months later, right? We notice it and we go, we'll just put that on the back burner for now. Just put that in the file, right? Yeah.
So, political ability. Governing, End is good at getting things done. End is I might work
really
against him, but End
worker.
he is a workhorse. End might be one of the hardest working people I know.
Here's my only problem with End on governing, and that is on legislate. He's really effective legislator. He legislates a lot, and he does a lot of hard work. I just think his laws are pretty fucking terrible.
I think he creates a lot of loopholes and messes with laws, which I think is
End is responsible for the single largest legal problem on DC, which is the executive, legislative, judicial standards being part of the Constitution.
Right.
That is honestly terrible. I mean, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in, you need to have a constitutional document, and that needs to, But what End has done is he's created this monster of a web of constitution, which is just grotesquely huge and completely contradictory. So
I think there's an element of trying to stop things from happening, right? Stopping the political schemes to try and keep things behind the Constitution. Whereas I think it never is truly going to work, and I think you kind of just have to accept that, and just kind of build a system that's easy to work with. So organization, one of End's weaker categories.
I don't think he could ever organize a political party. I don't think he has the aptitude for it.
Yeah, he's just not good at organizing political parties. He's not really done a good one.
I remember he had a political party at one point. I can't remember its name for the life of me, which just should be the indictment.
Oh, the DRP off-brand, was it?
Oh yeah, he did make the DRP, didn't he?
Yeah, the offshoot. ERP End. ERP.
Yeah.
Okay, on to political electability for End. PR, not great. End doesn't have a great PR image.
He's really
DC.
He's probably worse than average. I mean, here's the thing with End. Everyone knows of an End crusade, right? Where he's gone and tried to whip up a public fury, and the unanimous reaction is what? It's like I remember when. Do you remember when the Brown House was getting refurbished by the Deadwax administration? And End, who again I cannot stress this enough, was on Deadwax's side and working with Deadwax, proceeded to go full on and try and attack the Deadwax administration, and saying save our Brown House, save our Brown House, and 90% of the server was like, we don't care about the Brown House because we're not a former president. That's not he was going off. It's loads of a history. It's all about all these important things, but nobody cared because he didn't know the message that he needed to put out, right? So public relations not very good.
Base support kind of ties in with the PR and just general sort of thing. Base support kind of low. He doesn't have a load of. He has a few people that will show up for him.
I mean, one of the big things on his base support is that because he is owner of the server, he naturally has a higher base support. In recent years, however, that has become the inverse. Because
I think it's kind of balanced out in history.
Because of abuses of power on the staff team side, which have happened, repeatedly. Now the staff team is seen quite negatively in being involved in politics.
I think it was like to begin with, it was like a positive PR thing, and now it's become like a negative. So overall, it's kind of balanced out.
Yeah.
Outreach and can whip. He's not particularly good at whipping.
No, I mean, I always remember. Sorry.
He's a bit of a situation where he thinks he has votes and he doesn't, which a lot of people do. He doesn't count votes properly.
The big thing as well with end whipping is, I'm sure anyone who's experienced end trying to whip their vote before will know what I'm talking about. But end will start talking to you, and you just know he's coming to whip your vote. Like, it's not even a matter of, like, there are some people who come into your DMs and you're like, oh, they're talking to me, oh, they probably want to get me to vote for them. With end, it literally is like, he's there and he's doing the, like, how are you minutia, and you're like, God, he physically cannot stand doing this. He just wants me to say I will vote for you, right? Like, he doesn't care about anything else. And
then there's the political networking.
Yes.
End's okay at building a network, about a 5. I think it's fair. Like, it's just average.
I think over the years he started to think that people were beneath him. He doesn't really talk to the general public, which I think hurts him on building a network.
I don't know. I think End's okay.
He's about average, but average people, networks aren't. I don't think his network's too big. I think he relies on the staff team a lot to build his network.
Using network, not great. I think it's a bit more like he can come on a bit heavy at times and then a bit light at other times. It's a bit like hot and cold, not really consistency. I think that's probably End's biggest downside there. So just below average, I think about a 4.
Yeah.
May sound cruel, people, but I think it is accurate, to be honest. With End's networking, like, he's consistently. This is someone that's been on the server for 4 years and is the owner. Consistently hit about like 8-9 votes congressionally, where he should really probably be up near the top of the poll.
Yeah.
Maintaining network very low. End's worked with people in the past, and people I work with, and he's been with them for a while and will just completely abandon them.
Yeah.
And you can see it with like the dead wax thing, but like in more extreme situations where he'll attack political allies. Over slight disagreements because he gets tunnel visioned, which is a problem for End.
Yeah.
Like, there's battles and then there's the war, and sometimes you have to bury the hatchet on smaller things, and I think End struggles to do that, and that kind of hurts the maintaining of his network.
I have been an enemy of End and an ally of End. I was an ally of End originally, then an enemy of End, and I was part of the BDP, and I was one of his allies, and I was fully on board to work for him and West in Congress. I was fully on board for it. And what ended up happening is we tried to remove End from Congress because he was so boneheaded and so single-minded in his goal of removing Krix as president that he was burning all his bridges. And that's a very End thing to do. That's what he does a lot. He's single-minded, right?
Then political maneuverability, crisis handling,
which is where single-mindedness comes into play, right? That's where it becomes a strength.
Yeah. End is very good at responding to a crisis.
Yeah.
And he is
one of the best.
A lot does not. Many things do not phase End. He's very good at staying calm in situations and responding to things as they come.
One of those people who he wakes up in the morning, he sees the crisis happening, grabs a cup of tea and cracks on.
Right. Very good at this and very strong. This would probably this is one of your strongest sections, if not your strongest, dealing with crises.
Yeah.
And you've warned people and saved people in crises before. You've used your legal knowledge in political theory to get yourself out of crises. Those two overlap a lot, I feel, for you.
Yeah.
You saved, I think, Derpy or Deadwax, one of the two, and there was a few other situations. One of your strongest things.
He worked overtime in saving the Deadwax Derpy administration. Absolutely. And debating for End.
Yeah.
Better than average.
Okay.
But I remember, again, you pointed this out before, during the Unity Master, God, don't even bring up Unity Master when debating, but the Unity Master End debate, it ended up more or less, of that debate, Krix won as the moderator, It's not. He's good to an extent on debating. I think one of N's problems again is a bit like Dust. He focuses too much on the fact and not about what people want to hear, right?
Yeah, I think it's fair. So where would you put End ranking wise?
Look, I don't think End is A tier. Quite
No, I don't think
controversially.
I think End hasn't led
He's
a big enough political movement to
No.
be here, or he doesn't have a big enough political network. Like he can't command enough people to go out and
He's
do
always
something.
relied on other people's. In order to be an A tier, you need to have your own political engine, which End does have, but you need to be able to then hook, get people on that engine, and I don't think he does really do that much.
No. I think End is definitely in the B tier category. I think that's where he is.
I would say somewhere in B. I mean,
I think End is upper end of B. I think
End, personal feelings aside, probably top of B tier.
He's upper end of B.
Yeah.
He's very strong on a few categories that make him an upper end B tier politician.
Oh, right. Figo Messi.
So Figo Messi, this is someone Donut probably won't know as much.
No, I don't know him at all. I don't think really.
Yeah, Figo Messi, I think, was speaker around the 9th or 10th Congress, something around that. Figo was effective, a smart guy, but Figo had a bit of a problem where he was a little bit too moral and he couldn't cut deals where he needed to.
Only with us being moral is a problem.
Yeah, so Figo, smart guy, but he didn't command any large group of players on the server. Would have struggled to cut deals and get people where he needed them, like his political allies and positions to, perpetuate his power. So I think Figo just above probably Avalani, but below Bezer.
I'll trust your judgment. I don't know him at all. So.
Yeah. Right. Some people would disagree that know Figo, but Bezer, 1950, D'Artagnan, they've all led big political parties or medium-sized political parties and have achieved higher office. So that would be the reason.
This is the thing. Some people may come across as incompetent, and they are. But then there's an emotional intelligence as well, right? Right. FTG WAP.
Yeah, FTG WAP.
I mean, how many times has FTG been a representative?
I think once. Has he been a representative once?
I think he was a representative because he put in a lot of bills to do with there was one bill he put in where he wanted to build a statue near Spawn, and it was a bill the build a statue near Spawn bill, right?
Yeah, I think FTG WAP was definitely
a politician of all time.
F tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think FTG WAP really had no political sense at all.
The funniest thing about FTG WAP is there was a massive movement to get FTG WAP elected to Congress, and the moment FTG WAP was elected to Congress, everyone soured on that idea because they realised that FTG WAP was just being used in people's schemes as a vote, right?
Yeah.
I found it. I loved FTG WAP in Congress. Because you just had to throw him a bone, and my God, he would do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, I think at bottom of F tier is where he's at.
Yeah. Gallivants. Gallivants is someone who I've got a lot of experience with politically. I remember his first foray into politics was running for mayor, wasn't it? For Hamilton to advance, it has to be Gallivants. He ran against his main opponent, Beza Geza. For Hamilton to Beza, it has to be Geza.
Yeah. I think Gallivants is a problem where he can piss people off unnecessarily a lot.
Really bad with that.
And he makes a lot of enemies.
He's a spiky guy. Spiky.
Yeah. I think he's a cool guy. I think he just makes enemies unnecessarily. And I think it's a big downside.
Jay's my ex-husband.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we got married.
Two controversial politicians.
Yeah, we both got married, and he said he married me for my political connections. For Papa Governor. and I
He
married
definitely
him.
got the worst end of the deal there, didn't
Well, I married him for the gifts at at the wedding. We sent out wedding invites. I'll put up a picture of what the wedding invite was. But yeah, we sent out wedding invites that recommended people bring a gift of at least $10,000.
he? God. Where do you think he gallivances? Probably like D
D
tier
tier.
somewhere. Right up here, like he
I
had some
wouldn't say up
political.
there.
I think he's
But
better than Aladdin and Dead Wax. Like I think he's better.
yeah, probably just above cracked. Actually, yeah, you are
Right,
right. But
somewhere there.
definitely
Yeah.
not better than Ansgard. Okay. Gold blooded. Gold blooded, cold blooded. Gold lied,
People,
people died.
people
Um,
died. Dead Wax lied.
yeah. That was it, yeah. Whew. Gold. What is there to say about Gold is very vanilla, I think, as a politician, right?
Gold likes to run on. I think Gold's a bit of a. Yeah, he doesn't really have any.
I've
I don't.
never
I
seen
feel like
him
Gold is a
campaigning.
politician. I feel like Gold's a politician in real life that you think he doesn't actually believe in anything. He just wants to be elected, right?
Yeah. I've never seen Gold campaigning, ever.
Gold is extremely good at whipping. It's his
Yeah.
strongest thing by far. He's like one of the best people at whipping votes.
Yeah.
For me, like Gold, he struggles with debating and he struggles with like managing other people that aren't him a lot. I think that's
Mm.
probably his biggest downsides. He has a decent network,
Yeah.
and he can whip votes.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely B tier.
Yeah, I'd say B tier. Again, he's so boring.
Where do you think in B tier?
Is he better than I think he's is he
I
better
think
than
he's probably better.
Elena?
I think he's better than Elena. Yeah.
Again, I think of Gold and my mind genuinely goes blank. I can't think of
Yeah.
anything he's ever done.
Good at whipping votes, very strong, and it's a
Yeah.
big thing in politics. And he has a big network with like people like Diggy, and he had End as well, people like that.
Yeah. Cool. Hong Kong. Hong Kong famously of the we need to rebuild the city. And redesign it this way. But never ever succeeded in that, right?
Yeah.
Hong Kong's one of those people who's got a lot of ideas and always putting those ideas out, and those ideas have never been implemented.
Hong Kong kind of reminds me of like a Green Party politician. They have all these
Yeah.
ideas and shiny things, but it's never going to happen, is it? Like,
No. I mean, unless Hong Kong were to hitch a ride with a tier or S tier politician, like if Hong Kong was to come to me and say, right, I want to get elected, I want to do this, but I'm on board, so you've got me, as long as you can help me achieve my goals, then
Yeah.
Hong Kong would achieve. But that's all Hong Kong needs to do.
but they just never really did that. Never had the
No.
network connection. So I think they definitely are D tier.
Yeah.
And I'd argue that they're below Cop Top and Dodrio because they never had the political network that the GR
Yeah,
had.
no, that's fair. God, that feels rough for Hong Kong, but probably
Rip.
right.
Yeah.
Honey, Ian.
So I know Ian, and I know Ian's a guy.
I don't know Ian too well. I only know Ian as a joke when he was Diggy's VP.
Ian, extremely well liked. Really liked. Everyone liked Ian. I don't think you'd struggle to find anyone that could say a bad word against the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ian never led any big political party or movement. He never really commanded his own people or caucus. He was kind of always a Diggy associate, kind of. He worked with Diggy. He was friends with Diggy. That was kind of his thing.
He was a wagon on the Diggy train.
Right. I think he was definitely smart, and he had some political moves, and he was VP. He did get that far, and I think he had a level of competency. I think you couldn't put him below C tier. I think he's like C bottom B. I think he's probably C though.
You think?
Because he didn't really do a whole lot.
I would say bottom of B.
Yeah, I think he could be bottom of B.
I think he's that much better than Dart.
Yeah, he is. I think Dart, Ian go against each other. That is a fair point. I think Ian does wipe the floor with Dart.
Wipes the floor with him.
I think Ian. I think maybe the reason Ian didn't do as much because he didn't have the need to do as much. Probably. I think that's a good spot for Ian. I think that's probably fair.
Yeah. I think as well right now the gap between Dart and Ian is so high. Right?
Yeah.
But that's one thing I want to stress. This isn't displayed very well. The gap between Drew Hall and Alexander Love is quite big, right? The gap between Dart and Ian is huge. The gap between End and Bob is quite small. And then the gap between Austin and Diggy is quite big as well, right? Anyway. Icy Penguin.
Icy Penguin. Okay. Icy
I
was
don't know Icy
elected.
Penguin at all.
Yeah, Icy was elected under the DRP. He did a few things. I remember he like threatened to like withhold government wages if I didn't do something for him, and I like completely used it against him. Like he relied heavily on Diggy and other people to kind of advise him. He didn't really have a good handle on the political like lay of the land, so you know, off the radar kind of thing.
I'll just go with wherever you put him.
No movement and no real independent big moves. I think due to his network and the people he knew, and he was like not crazy. I think he's probably like just below Deadwax. Like Deadwax got president, and I think Deadwax is that's probably right.
Cool. Okay. Incomplete River. I know Incomplete River only from, again, the list of names that were whipped to vote for Beza to become president, right?
Yeah, Incomplete River, a guy I know, I'm not sure if many other people do. Friend of mine from the RNP days. Smart guy. Funnily, he's a socialist in real life, and then he joined the party in Minecraft, so he was definitely having a bit of fun.
It's the same with me, right?
Yeah. He just he just did what I asked him to do in Congress. You know, that's where he was. He was a puppet. You know, he had no like motives or agenda of his own.
Yeah. Big Inter.
Inter.
Difficult one.
Inter, very smart guy.
Yeah, very smart guy. You couldn't find a better schemer, I think. Right? You can find a better schemer. I'm being a bit hyperbole there, but he's good at scheming.
Yeah. Yeah, smart guy, good at scheming, like Donut said. He had a good network. I think he kind of burnt bridges unnecessarily with some people.
That was his big thing. Was that he very much burnt bridges. And
I think he had a bit of a thing of disloyalty associated with himself because he kind of like was trying to flip a lot, a bit too much scheming probably, and not like enough consistency. Maybe a bit of a Marty situation, lack of consistency.
It is one of those things as well with Inter that those people who remember the end of the Krix presidency. And Krix and I were massively pressuring Inter, who was Speaker of the House at the time, to dissolve Congress. Because
if Inter had dissolved Congress, I would have still been president.
Yeah. So the Congress illegally removed Krix as president. We were massively pressing Inter dissolve Congress. This was right at the early days of Mint. I had Mint. Mint was a sizable political party. I would have won 2 to 3 seats with Mint. What was it? Your party, the DRP. The DRP would have won 2 to 3 seats. We probably would have had a majority, right?
The DRP would have won probably 3 or 4 seats.
Yeah, we would have had 3 to 4. So we would have had a workable majority between Mint and DRP if we had went into another election. But Inter just refused. He refused to do it because he didn't want to be the speaker that dissolved Congress. Famously, later, Beza obviously did at Krix.
The Great Dissolver.
The Great Dissolver. And so Inter could have had that, legacy, and then he would have been speaker again. But then what happened? Inter didn't dissolve Congress, and a week later he was removed as speaker. So
I think he unnecessarily burnt bridges to perpetuate his own power, which he relied on his allies to perpetuate his power.
Once he'd done that, I had no reason to save him from being removed as speaker, and no one did. He lost that speakership with vote of no confidence by a massive margin because he had no allies.
It was a big political miscalculation on his part. But Inter overall, I still think he's a good politician, understood what was going on.
I would say bottom of A tier, top of B tier.
I think Inter.
I think he's better than End.
I think End probably is more going from Inter has a lot of laziness sprees where he just
Yeah, that's
disappears.
true. That's true.
End is consistently there.
And also, I suppose if you had to ask, I think with Inter, um, you
I don't know if laziness is the word. Inter's just very busy in real life, but
yeah, but also I think with Inter it is a matter of as well. You just can't trust him.
he's a big consistency problem, both like with time and with
Trust.
trustworthiness.
Yeah.
I think because of that, like he struggles to keep allies, and that probably puts him lower on B tier because of his
Yeah.
networking. I think
Yeah.
probably there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, I would say I
Um,
would say a little bit higher, but I'm happy. I mean, I'd say better than Elena.
you could probably put him there. I think that's probably fair. I think he probably has the edge over Elena. Just yeah.
It's Blaze X. I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. So Blaze was, I think one of Diggy's people as well early on. They kind of kicked their career off in the Super Mario Party, I believe, and uh,
Oh,
uh, um, were in Congress. They were kind of one of those, you know, justice seeking people, like Dickel. I think that's probably where they are. Yeah.
right. Can you do that all again because you were lagging through that entire thing?
Yeah. Okay.
So next, it's Blaze X. I have no idea who this is.
So It's Blaze is they were a politician in the SMP, one of Diggy's parties. So they were connected with Diggy a lot.
Yeah.
I think they were in Congress. I think maybe once or twice. They were a rep, kind of one of those justice-seeking people. Like they were very by the book, tried to be honorable. Didn't really understand what was going on in politics, like the actual what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
And whose allegiances with who, and who's got who, all that sort of stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
think definitely not C tier. Like I couldn't justify putting them in C.
I'll go
And
with wherever you put them.
and I think like the big thing they had going for them was their political network, which I think has kind of collapsed since the SMP. But when they were in politics, they managed to attach themselves to a decent network.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cop Top probably has the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in between Cop Top and Dodrio.
Okay.
Be placement.
Um, Izzy. I put Izza by accident. I realised on the image there, but is what it
Yeah,
is.
Izzy.
Yeah.
So another speaker. I think this
Really?
person. Yep.
God.
Izzy was briefly speaker after Figo. I think they were in one of Diggy's parties as well. Another person that was, tried to be honorable, do things, by the book the right way. They had a lot of contacts, I believe, when they were speaker, and networked decently well. They did achieve that post of speaker, which I think is, a landmark in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, an okay politician, but a few downsides. I'd say C tier probably.
Okay. Where are you
Um,
going to put them? I
ki-
don't know.
kind of a similar politician to AC, so I'd
Okay.
probably say about there is fair for them.
Okay. Um, Jedi A Man. Now, the only thing I know about Jedi A Man is that he believes he is Homelander.
And he
Um,
is the current vice president.
and he is the current vice president. However, from what I've seen, he is not very impressive.
I think Jedi is a nice guy. I just don't think he really understands what's going on politically as much. Like Jedi was apparently in support of the whole, what we were doing in lasers thing. He was in support of us, but he really never
Ugh, lagging again.
indicated that to me or later. Really? Okay, I think I need to move to
Lagging
the
again.
speakeasy
Lagging
probably.
again. Krix, lagging again. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. What's
We probably need to move to the speakeasy to be honest.
yeah? Let's do that.
Okay.
Hello.
Right. So this is a bit better.
Let's hope.
Am I okay now?
You're much better now, yeah.
Right, let's. Okay, Jedi.
Yeah,
So
Jedi. The only thing I know about Jedi is that he is, believes he is Homelander.
and he is currently the VP of Redmont.
Yes, he is, but not very impressive, from what
No.
I've seen, despite his
What?
claim that he is superhuman.
Well, he did manage to get VP, I think, which.
Yeah, but
it's not.
again, with like with Beza, right? It's very much an indictment of where DC is at. I think.
Yeah, I think it's definitely degraded. It's not the position it used to be 2-3 years ago. And they've pulled back a lot of the VP powers. So for Jedi, I think he nice guy, has okay contacts, not amazing. I think he lacks political awareness. Like he apparently supported like Laser and the RNP under like the Laser presidency, and he was in cabinet, but he never indicated that to us.
Right.
Which led to him being removed.
That's really funny.
Yeah, because we were, there was a lot of treason going on at that point.
A lot of treason.
Yeah.
A lot of treason.
A lot of terrible things.
Terrible things are happening.
So I think he's never really been in Congress either. So I think Jedi, I'd probably put him. He's definitely like consistent, and I think when you get to know him, he's okay. I'd probably put him, and he hasn't had many major gaffes. I don't think he's C tier. I think he's D tier, and I think I'd probably put him about top of D, probably something like that.
Fair enough. He's VP, like
something like that. Yeah,
he's the lowest rated VP, which is mad, but
yeah, I think that's probably where he is.
Cool. Well, that's not true. He's not the lowest rated VP because Derpy's Puppet.
Well, Puppet not necessarily.
Yeah,
lower,
no,
but
Puppet. Yeah, but I think with Derpy, it would if Derpy tried, I think it would be. Anyway, who's next? Joan. Oh my god, Joan. I love Joan. Joan's great.
Yeah. So Joan consistently was able to get himself elected to the Senate and stuff. Okay at whipping votes. He ran a very competitive campaign against Consumer, who's high up in A tier. And he ran that campaign with Elena as his VP.
Yeah. Extremely effective at running the IDEA and DOJ. Easily,
yeah, he was always
the best.
He was always well liked. Joan as well. He always was good with his PR.
Yeah. Famously, my first opponent.
Senior roles in political parties on the left wing, but he was someone that you could always reach across the aisle with and make deals.
Yep.
He left himself in a very good political position. He was never really a big heavy hitter. He definitely is not S or A tier.
Yeah, that's the thing. Never did anything. Never did anything. Like, had a lot of opportunity to do things, and was just kind of happy to not do it. I think so. The lack of ambition really hurts Joan.
Yeah, I think Joan probably is B tier.
Yeah, I'd say B tier.
I think he's edging out Ian definitely for like accomplishments, and I think he Elena, I'm not sure about. I think Elena probably had more political aptitude than Joan. So I think that's probably where Joan's at. So you have two animals.
I would agree. I think they're very they work quite close together a lot as well. But they complement each other, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Joe Gamer. Oh, I could say a lot about Joe Gamer. I think I want this on the record as well. Probably the worst Supreme Court justice of all time.
He had a few gaffes, yeah.
I mean, more than that. It was some of those rulings that Joe Gamer made were truly mind-boggling. They were truly baffling. I remember we were going to impeach Joe Gamer just for bad rulings. Like, that was like how bad some of the rulings are, where there was support in Congress to impeach him purely just because of the bad rulings, you know. Yeah, really questionable as a justice. I don't
I think
know.
as a politician, he was like
Yeah.
okay. I remember under the what was it, the Inters Party, the successor of the DRP. I think it's the Redmond Freedom Party. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
He was in that kind of
Was he?
associated with Inter, Sumo Poem, that sort of group.
Right.
I don't think he made it into Congress. Maybe once as a rep, like nothing to write home about. He was,
Yeah.
I think, pretty consistent in Congress.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think he would have done anything on his own. I don't think.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bottom end politician. So probably lower D tier. I'd say that was probably where he's at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd agree.
I'd say about there probably.
Just simply because he got a Chief Justice, I would put him above. That's where I'd put him. Or no, actually, I'd put him above. I'd put him above Didner.
Above Didna, up that far.
Yeah, because. Because again.
He was a justice, I suppose. And he did get there.
That's what I mean, right? Like.
Yeah, I suppose like there is a political element to becoming a justice, so I think it's probably fair.
Jonte.
Jonte, smart guy.
Smart guy lets himself down because he is truly unhinged.
He's a very eccentric Jonte.
Yeah. Really effective recruiter and vote whipper, I think. Krix? Okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's not like... Hello?
Oh, you cut out.
Hello?
You cut out them. Let's restart Jonte again.
Okay.
Jonte. Yeah. Weird guy. Very good, smart guy. Just really lets himself down by being very, very a bit crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think Jonte, he's good in the sort of recruitment capacity for political parties. He's been in that role a few times.
Yeah, he was recruiting in Mint for a while, and he was really good.
So he's decent at building the network and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Political acumen, not really very high at all for Jonte. The knowledge and stuff, relied heavily on people. Never really did anything major on his own, so he's definitely not C or above. So he's looking D tier, I think. Definitely.
I would say D tier. Yeah, I just think with regards to where he is in D tier,
I think he's upper end, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would. I would. No, he's top of D tier. Yeah, top of D tier. Like I say, he's good. He's never done anything, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Koi. Ko
5-through.
Ko. I don't know how to. I've never known how to say it.
Yeah.
Ko
5-through. Yeah.
Ko. I think Ko's a really classic example of do a bad thing enough times and people become desensitized to it, right?
Exactly. I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Ko has killed at this point so many people so many times that getting killed by Ko is just part of daily life on DC, right?
Yeah.
Ko also famously is one of the biggest contributors to DC history in terms of people's heads, right?
I think that's nothing to do with politics, though.
No, I know, but I did want to say, just bring it up because it's these things that these are things that are, that's part of Ko, right?
I think Ko has through his role as a BI and just through not understanding political horse trading at all, he's kind of made himself a lot of enemies because no one's willing to stick out their neck for him.
You lagged them for me.
Or I think it's me streaming or something. Might have to
I don't
switch
know what it
internets
is. It
again.
wasn't a problem. Now. It's just I think your internet's probably dropped, but it's fine. What we'll do is we'll finish Co and we'll want to put you next week, right? Next episode. So
Yeah.
So back to talking about Co. Yeah, I mean it's not majorly involved in politics, but I really do think it's something I want to mention because it's a big part of DC history. I think Co is very important in recording that history. But politically, I don't know. Has Co ever been elected?
I don't think so. Maybe once.
Maybe once.
Yeah, I think the thing for Ko is he's made a lot of political enemies through
Yeah,
his work as like a BI and
yeah.
just like through generally not understanding that like you have to
You have
the
to
whole
play.
political orchestrating whole thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I remember Co
And
was
then
one of
he
those people that you fired from DOS, wasn't it?
DCT, I think. Yeah,
And was it? Oh yeah, it was DCT.
I think for me Ko's F tier. Like I just
Yeah,
don't think he'd get anywhere.
yeah. I think Marty is he worse? Is he worse than Marty or better than Marty?
Like I think he's probably lower end to be honest, because I think these people like I think Barty understands that like who's in power and like why he's not getting anywhere. Like I think he has a
Yeah.
better grasp of that.
Okay. Bardia. Cool. Okay. I think as a little cliffhanger, we will save you for next episode, right?
Yep, sounds good.
Because I think we've got a very good looking here, and we've covered quite a lot of people. We are now 3 episodes in, and we're basically at the halfway point of the list. Basically, right? We've got 52 names left to go. But yeah, I think no, I'm really happy with the way the list is shaping up so far. Definitely, you can definitely see, it's shaping up. I think this is very accurate, right?
Yep, I agree.
Cool. Well, as always, thank you for listening. I hope you agree with us on some of these people. Definitely been an interesting episode. But yeah, thank you very much, and goodbye.